Hi everyone and welcome to One Six Figure Focus, and you're very welcome to episode number 3 of the Hope Show. Apologise for my tardiness. Bloody AirPods, man. They were connecting, but one of them was connecting and the other one wasn't for some silly reason. Also, random thought, but have you ever taken a look at the inside of your AirPods? It's not nice. I need to get some cleaning hacks. It's absolutely disgusting. But if you know, you know. So, right, I want to just address the chat first of all. Very welcome here. I'm trying to get this regularly. I'm trying to lock in this show here at 8 p.m. This time, 8 p.m. Well, 8 minutes ago. 8 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, 3 p.m. New York time or Eastern time, and then 12 p.m. Mondays Western time. So, see if this time kind of suits people. I want to get this regularly. Kind of doing it every 2 weeks. But to be honest, I want to lean towards every week because I just want to get something happening regularly. I'll still have the focused live shows, and they're kind of those impromptu, unscheduled ones when, I don't know, something drops or we get a new announcement, release, or some news in the 6-scale community, or if I just want to just go live and chat collectibles with you fine people. All right, so I suppose first of all we'll address the chat and say hello to everyone. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button on your way in if you like the content, or hit the dislike if you don't like the content, and subscribe if you are into this. So, Andre, he mostly streams on Monday. Mostly. I love it. I love a good old Aliens reference. Payden23, actually, sorry, Andre, channel member. Shout out to you. Payden, channel member. What's up, everyone? Mike giving you props for your Aliens reference. Love to see it. Mike or Mitchell Lawrence, how are you? Mike says, just tell me one thing, Focus. We're watching the stream about figures to destroy them, right? Not to study them. Now you're all at it. Actually, let's make this a thing, folks. Give us some Aliens references. I love it. Phil, channel member, shout out to you, sir. Really quickly, I must actually add the link in case anyone wants to become a channel member. So I usually have this ready. 1 second, get that there. Where are we? Just want to add that in. Pop in your Aliens quotes and references into the channel before we kind of outline what we're going to be doing here. So if you are interested in becoming a channel member, I'm just popping that into the chat there now. The link is there if you're interested. And there's perks for of various different levels, including member shoutouts. And at the end of the video, at the end of all my live streams and all my videos, you'll be featured in this continuously updating outro for the Focus Commander. Yeah, so Noble Young, how are you? 12-inch Moose Stream channel member. Mark Mitchell, channel member. Like the stream, good stuff. Thanks. This sounds like an order from Michael. Yo, Costa Pop Culture Living Room. The Costa Case man. Dan and Carbonite is here. Thaddeus Meyer all the way from Germany. Mike is in the building. Andre, channel member. X-Man Supreme, channel member. Of course, looking forward to seeing those pictures of your collection so I can share them there. One of the perks of the Commander channel membership tier. So kind of want to do shout outs and I want to do like kind of a little section once a week, maybe on the Hope Show, just kind of focus in, no pun intended, on one of my commanders in one of the Commander tier channel memberships, and they're going to send on photos and I can just put them out there and just kind of like give a bit of love back to people's collections. Mike, we're all stars now in the Hope Show. Absolutely. The show doesn't exist without people like yourselves watching it. We're all in the Dope Show. I've just got demonetized. I'm joking. Costa, yeah, you're dead right. Channel member Thule, thanks very much. I really appreciate the troopers and the commanders. I appreciate everyone who's ever taken the time to watch any videos, like any videos, join in the stream, ask a question, respond to a comment, all that kind of stuff. And I just really appreciate all the donations, stuff like that, the troopers and the commanders and stuff like that. It really does, it helps. I reinvest it into the channel. I'm actually saving up now, and what I'm going to do is, my back's been at me. Like, not badly, but enough that I'm sitting in this chair a lot. I'm making a lot of content, I'm streaming a lot, and thankfully I don't have back problems, but after a while sitting in this bloody chair, it's just not ergonomic, is that the word? So I've got my eye on one of those secret lab chairs with all the kind of, you know, just the proper back support and all that kind of stuff. So that's I'm going to reinvest. I figure I'm going to be sitting in the room a lot. I may as well get a decent chair. Dope intro, bro. Channel member, Payton23. Thanks, I appreciate that. I actually already am demonetized. I got to scrub the video after every time I finish it. Just put it on silent. So if you're watching on the replay and you're wondering why was it really quiet for the intro, I get a flag once a week saying, you know, copyright strike, because obviously I'm using Marilyn Manson's The Dope Show song, because I just like it and it goes with the intro, because the Hope Show, I don't have to explain it obviously. But once a week then I get the copyright strike, so my options are just cut that out or just mute it. So I just mute it. So if you're watching the replay, it'll be quiet for the intro. But if you're watching live, yeah, you get Marilyn Manson there. So you got Chuli, Empire Strikes Again, and Michael 12-inch Moose Dream. Very, very thankful that just really thankful that these people are here watching, and the channel members as well. Okay, we got glad to hear about Aliens version of Ripley. We're going to take a look at that, definitely. Brandon Salad, you're reading it wrong, Hicks. Game over, man. Game over. I am 100% getting that clip, and I'm 100% going to use it as the outro. I can't use it the outro because I need to give the Focus Commanders credit, but maybe I'll have it at the start. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to re-edit it. So at the end of every live stream, I'm going to click it and just be like, game over, man. Game over. And then bang, back into the outro. Yeah, it's done. Good stuff. Shooty, you got Andre as well. A day watching this live stream is like a day on the farm. Every hot take a banquet, every super chat fortune. By the way, commanders get to see Grogu get shot by the trooper. You know what? I've been working on some t-shirts, and they're basically the logo in different colors. Obviously green, gotta represent. I'm just wondering, like, if I throw them up on TeePublic, will I get away with selling them? Because you're kind of reproducing something like, you know, it's a hot toy and it's a Star Wars, it's a Stormtrooper. But I see a lot of stuff on Etsy and TeePublic, which is kind of blatantly other brands and stuff like that. So I'm wondering, like, will I get flagged and not be able to sell them, whatever. By the way, yeah, commanders get to see Grogu shot by the trooper. Ancient Silver Fox, we got a £9, and that's the Queen's money, man. £9.99 super chat. Thank you very much. Just got home. Tickle the like button, everyone. Hashtag just the tip. You're banned. You're banned. I'm giving you your time out for 5 minutes. If you know, you know. You gotta watch the live stream we did yesterday. I'm not even getting in the way. It was all about the. I'm going to show you pictures later on. Anyway, I'll show you pictures later on. And oh, did you hear that? You should have heard that. I just cracked that back out. All right. So yeah, Phil, thanks very much. Or not Phil. Sorry, I see Phil down below. Ian. Thanks very much for that. I do appreciate it. I'm glad you're actually back. I know that you were out for dinner, but I'm glad that you're in to see episode 3 of the Hope Show. Appreciate that. Somehow Rockman has returned. What's going on, everyone? Good to see you, Rockman Chris. The Jazz Ink collector, I do believe. Josh, Blue Tattoo. We had Blue Tattoo on an episode of Visions there about 2 weeks ago, well, a week and a bit ago. So maybe check that out if you want to hear more about Josh and his collecting journey. Look what you started, Ian. Look what you started, Ian. Phil, thank you very much for that tip. And when I say tip, I mean the £2, okay? Get your minds out of the gutter, folks. I guarantee you, Phil is delighted with himself there, sitting at home laughing. We got Judy Shane. You need a new throne made of hard stone like Bo-Katan's. I will not look as good as Bo-Katan, that throne, and you know well. We got Alan. Howdy, Shane. Alan, again. That's the Jackson Shoe cape for the DX19 that he sent me very generously. And I have to say, just like that CCFL escalated the DX23 Mando Luke to another level. That Jackson Shu, I believe it's Shu. I think X in Chinese names is pronounced with a sh sound, but Jackson Shu, it does actually escalate the DX19. Connor, hey Shane, happy to say finally got Jin today. Oh, Jin Ursa, did you rob it off Leal? No, you did not. The only way you're getting that is if you try and pull it out of his cold dying hands, and he's not going to give you that. But man, that's like it would be. It's a G-bomb. Marilyn Manson is spending all the copyright strike member money on dope. Possibly on lawyers' fees. He got in a spot of bother there. I don't know. I haven't really keeping up to date with the allegations, whatever. But I know he got in a spot of butter. After Hicks says game over, Hudson, I think Hicks asks him, "Are you done?" What up, Shane? I haven't been able to catch you live in a hot minute. Glad you're doing good, brother. Man, thank you very much. I really appreciate you chiming in and being here present as well. Focus has... That's funny. Michael actually heard it. Shiny with the focus has ratcheted back joints. They mostly come out at night. This is true. Copper says evening. Copper's the gent. He just kind of slips in. Good evening. How are we doing? Bendu Windu, channel member, good to see you. My clone pilot just got delivered. I got a feeling I'm going to miss out on that. Clone pilot is my first test of the Weightless Wars. Are things going to be more difficult to get going forward, or is it just a case that you're ordering less and you can get from other people? I'll believe it. I'll believe when I see it. But look, I do like that clone pilot. I'm not a prequels collector, but I am a trooper collector. So he's in the club, and I'd like to put him next to Cody. And I really like the binoculars he comes with him. Chudy, I am a bit jealous. I'm going to track that down. Hopefully I won't have to play crazy Remnant Trooper prices on it. I'm reposing my figs now because I want to make the most of the clutter. Good stuff, reposing the figures. I like to do that. Have a beer, throw on a stream or a bit of music in the background, and then start a repose. Okay. We're nearly up to date with the chat, folks. Jackson Shu really made a whole business of Hot Toys being lazy. Yeah, you snooze, you lose. Hit that like button. That sounds like a direct order from Boba Fettuccini, channel member. We are up to date with the chat here in episode number 3 of the Hope Show. So... what are we going to be doing? Well, I'll show you what we're going to be doing. First of all, new members, shout out really quickly. There are 2 ranks, tiers. 2 tiers. There's channel membership. There's 2 different tiers. There's troopers and there's commanders. So shout out to all the troopers. Payton23, Mugwump, Andre, Chuli from Texas, Bendu Windu, Collector Joey, Ryan Smith, T. Rhea. And to the commanders, X-Man Supreme, 12-inch Moose Stream, Philip the Fool, 6-scale Padawan Keith, Mark Mitchell, William Owens, Brandon Salad, The Empire Strikes Again, Phil, Collecting Weekly, they're kind of a big deal, people know them, and Boba Fettuccini, the tastiest username in the YouTube 1/6 scale community game. New videos, my thoughts on Rocket and the Good Dog. This video, I really like this video because I am psyched about not only the DX23 that you can see here, but the CCFL custom Luke Skywalker lightsaber by Art15 Customs. This is my review and thoughts on that. I'm gonna get more. I really like them. I'm like buzzing over the weekend about the figure, about the CCFL, about the combination of the two, about the pose, about multiple things about the figure, and just how I managed to just get it looking pretty clean, if I do say so myself. Not perfect. I can still 1 or 2 things in my head how I could improve it, but I'm happy enough. So, by the way, folks, I've taken a bunch of photos. One of the things I want to do today, I'll actually, I'll put a pin in that for 1 second. So the Hope Show episode 1 is now live. The Hope Show episode 2 is now live. You're watching the Hope Show episode 3, and this was episode 56 of The Focus. The live streams where I just hop on randomly to talk about all things 1/6 scale collecting related, and that's all about CCFLs and how I wired that CCFL to kind of maintain a clean look for DTOF collectors. Of course, module cases can do similar, and It might be a bit easier with module cases because you can get the black backgrounds the wires from the CCFLs naturally blend in and camouflage then. Right, so what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about flight officer. Oh, actually, sorry, I forgot. Sorry. Apologies. Before we go on any further, I completely forgot to do this. I made these clips for the super chats and I completely forgot to do them because I'm a moron. So, who was in first? I believe, yeah, H and Silver Fox. So R2 giving you thanks, and then we have Phil, I believe it was. Utini! Utini to you too, sir. Okay, so thanks for that. So flight officer and leveling up. We're going to take a quick look at the flight officers, which is obviously Ripley from Aliens. I'm not a real third-party guy. I have had third parties in the collection. I'm actually going to show you some pictures of them later on, and because we're going to be talking about leveling up. What I mean by leveling up, just before we take a look at Ripley or flight officer, what I mean by leveling up is, like, we probably all have an idea in our heads for the ultimate display. Maybe that is a basement. Maybe that's a man cave, gaming room / theater room with your collection, you know, on one wall. Or maybe it's like a museum type thing, or maybe it's just like a you know, kind of a bunker, man cave, whatever we want to call it. We all have ideas, and maybe your ideal setup is, you know, a wall of detofs. Maybe it's module cases with loads of different types of module cases custom made to cater for quarter scale statues and figures, 6 scale to cater for vehicles. Maybe you have an idea, it's spotlights or cool lights. Maybe you want to go Costa cases and make your own. Maybe you're a muscle rack garage shelf type person. We all have a vision, and like, I'm constantly trying to make my display look better and better while maintaining a clean look. That's my vision, really, you know. So I don't want to compromise the clean look for putting in something better. I want to have kind of like, I want to have my cake and eat it. So I'm going to outline, I said, what better way to explain the next step than explain where it all started. So I'm going to show you like my first ever kind of display, and I'm going to show you like back pictures of when I was just putting the module case or detofs together. And then I'm going to show you like the first figures I put into the detofs on the very first day, because I still went back to my phone and I found them all. And then I'm going to show you the first time I managed to fit all, you know, 20 figures into the detofs, and then how I chopped and changed. And there's a few figures that are no longer with us, rest in peace, that they've been sold, or maybe they've been boxed up, or maybe they're on display somewhere else. I'm actually going to show you the floating shelves. These are up-to-date photos. And then from there, knowing where I've come from, I'm going to outline the vision I have for the future, the next step in the display, improving the display, basically leveling up the display. That's what I'm doing today. I'm actually quite excited about this episode of the Hope Show. But first of all, we've got to take a look at Flight Officer. Okay, we got to take a look at Flight Officer. Okay, address the chat before we continue on any further here. A few chats coming in here. Who do we got? I want these third parties to make Newt to go with Ripley, a Burke, and another chance to buy John Connor from T2. Yep. Ian laughing his head off there. There's another Mitchell up in here. Yeah, the place isn't big enough for the two of you. Personally, I love this Ripley. It'll be around £140-ish, which is less than half of what I paid for what you'd pay for the Hot Toys Ripley on the aftermarket. Valid point. We got Danny Boy in here from Los Angeles. The original from Aliens was not likeness license approval. Interesting point. I did not know that. Sorry, I'm just moving around here in a bloody chair. I'll get comfortable eventually. Well, I don't know if that's true, but like, you've been in this game a while, you know your stuff, and like, I know that it doesn't look like Sigourney Weaver from what I remember. And and that's no disrespect to anyone who has the figure. Like, definitely, I've seen the Hot Toys one, and I know the head sculpt could definitely be better. But it's an old figure. Like, it's an old figure. You can't really compare it. That's like comparing the DX11 to the Inert Joker. I'm a massive Aliens fan. For me, when I think like bombshell, amazing movies that I've loved all my life and will love until the day I die, I go to like Terminator 1 and 2, Alien 1 and 2, The Matrix, you know, the original trilogy, the first RoboCop film. Yeah, good stuff. And then you have, you know, more modern ones like Inception and Interstellar and Fight Club. Okay, Fight Club's like 1999, but Fight Club's an absolute banger. But yeah, Alien and Aliens, like, I strongly credit RoboCop, the first two Terminator films, the first two Alien films, to my love of movies in general. And that's where I really got my love for science fiction. Now, I don't need to prove to anyone that I'm a real fan, because I'm probably not going to get this on screen here, and I don't want anyone screaming fake fan. So I've come prepared. So I want to show you something that I have that is not 1/6 scale, that I absolutely love, that I hunted down for a while, and I've had this for about 10 years, but I remember I spent about a year before I pulled the trigger on it. But I want to show you something that I think is pretty damn cool. So I'll show you this video file. Take a look at this. Right, so I'm going to click play. What you're going to be looking at is a diecast Oshima. That's Aoshima. I believe it's a Japanese company. I could be wrong on that. An Oshima diecast dropship. From the movie Aliens. It's the one that falls out of the Sulaco and you know, falls down towards, is it 421? Correct me if I'm wrong there, LV 421. Take a look at this. Just, can you confirm if you can hear my commentary? I'm not sure if the video mutes my commentary, but so this is all fully diecast. The thing is heavy, right? I think it's 1:72 scale. Like, it is a beautiful piece, and a lot of things move or articulated. Like the bombs underneath to the left and right of the cockpit, they fold in just like in the movie when it drops out of the Sulaco. Obviously, those kind of weapon system that comes out the top there, they fold away. You can see the little you know, it's a scaled alien queen as well. And there's actually 3 different versions of this. There's this one here. There is an olive version, which I couldn't track down. The olive version is probably more popular. I can't remember what the third one. I think there was there was an olive. There was this version. I think there was maybe a darker version then as well. But these go for maybe $500-600 now. I've seen them for more expensive than that as well. But I've managed to keep this. I have it boxed, but I literally unboxed it just before I came on stream. There's a little button actually which causes that to flop down. The button I just pressed there. It actually causes that trapdoor. You can actually get the APC, which goes into it as well. I think I may eventually track that down, but yeah, this is a beautiful piece. So yeah, it's these films, they're amazing. Whether it's the Ridley Scott original or the James Cameron sequel, and I didn't mind the third one either, but they're just not up to the same. There's no competition with 1 and 2. What's the maker name for Ripley? This is Present Toys, I believe. They did the Indiana Jones, and people liked it. They've done the T-800 from Terminator 2. They're doing the battle damage version. Or it was very bad. I think Hot Toys actually did have the license for it. I'm pretty sure it's licensed, Michael, but the sculpt wasn't that good. It's a very old figure. So that's why I wouldn't work backwards and get that figure from Alien. I'd love if I believe they teased the power loader. Now, wouldn't it be amazing, right? Just bear with me here, right? Sometimes we see these third-party figures pop up, and then bang, a licensed company like Hot Toys comes out and said, we're going to do this. Okay? Now, I have no insider knowledge, just pure speculation. Also, didn't Disney recently purchased the Alien franchise and Predator. I wonder, like, if this sells out, right? If people really want this, or if like Hot Toys are watching this and go, well, Disney owns Alien, the Alien franchise and the Predator franchise, and Hot Toys are like, okay, well, we're kind of, they're obviously Hot Toys. A lot of people are saying that the mouse is pulling the strings now. I wonder, will they go, well, okay, there's still a demand for it here. Go back and do the Predator from the original movie, or even like do the Predator from Prey. I think that would sell pretty well. Or go back and do Colonial Marines, Ripley from Alien, the first one, Ripley from the second one, DX version with Power Loader. Like, a man can dream. Do I think they're going to do that? Like, if I had to put money on it, I'd probably say no. But I mean, sometimes this happens. We see some third-party versions, and next thing Hot Toys comes out and goes, yeah, we're going to do this. Now, we've also seen Hot Toys Flex. You have Eternal Toys coming out with their version of the Vulture. Jazz Inc. has done a version of the Vulture. And then we had that other company. What was it? I have it. I think it was Toy Zero. So there was like 3 versions of the Vulture which are unlicensed. And then Hot Toys did that Flex, and then poof, Tumbleweed. Nothing. Haven't heard from him. So it could be just like, stay off of my turf. Say my name. So Shiny laughing at someone else's joke. Interesting. Who made Shiny laugh? That's a bit of Inception right there. Chuli says smash the like button. Very much appreciated. I currently have Prime 1's Ripley on pre-order. So good in the department. But this one is interesting. Good stuff. I just watched Aliens before the stream. Things wrong with the face. Shirts should be grey. Grenades and the sling are wrong. Is it the red tops, Michael? Because as much as I've seen this movie multiple times, is it the little red tops on the cartridges? Or is it the shape of the cartridges full stop? I did notice someone, I think it was Pete from OFAC, pointed out that the fingerless gloves, I don't think she ever had fingerless gloves. The sculpt looks pretty good. I actually don't think the sculpt looks great, Payton. I gotta respectfully disagree. If I was to get this, like, I'm not going to get this. I live in hope. I live in hope that some licensed version comes out, or even, I don't even care if it's licensed, some version comes out that's just with a spot on head sculpt, and the what am I saying, the outfit is more accurate and all that kind of stuff. Like, but the thing is, I could probably get this. I don't think I will, but I could probably get this and go, this is an artistic interpretation of the character from the second movie. It's almost like an animated version, or like just, a bit of creative license, a bit of like just putting a spin on this, because I do think overall this looks good. You gotta love that pulse rifle. Like, she looks like a badass. Like, I mean, the expression I think is pretty cool. I don't think it looks like Sigourney Weaver, and I do like to have one shrunken down 1/6 scale movie characters on my shelf. So with that argument, it'd be saying no, don't get it. But like, it does look cool, So she's got the kind of pants there, the kind of pouch. She's got the pulse rifle. Is it the flamethrower over her shoulder as well? In fairness, like, I think Sigourney Weaver's character in 1, 2, and even 3, especially in number 2, she's a blueprint for, okay, herself and Sarah Connor. This is how you write, and this is how you act, and this is how you direct strong female characters. Like, these women were absolute badasses, and it wasn't. I remember looking at them. It didn't make a difference. They're women. It wasn't like, oh, it's a strong female character. Just like, no, they're strong characters. It doesn't matter what their gender is or whatever like that. They're just well written, well scripted, directed, well acted, and well delivered. Strong female characters, just great characters. Yeah, so I don't think this looks like Sigourney Weaver, but at the same time, I don't know. Sorry, I'm using, you can see Big Bretta's watermark there. Shout out to Big Bretta for these photos. I saw them posted, I think it was on Dante's group or something like that, and I took them because they're the only 2 available. So massive thank you to Joao. Checks in the post, Joao. Checks in the post. So, like, this looks cool in the sense that if I was getting this, and is that must be a base then you have? And then an alien egg. So I'm presuming it comes with this little diorama base as well. Not really, just a simple kind of a base, really. The opened alien egg. This part here, I wonder is that included as well? It looks like it's all included. I wonder is the egg separate or is included in the actual diorama base? Pulse rifle, the flamethrower you can't see, but I showed in the other photo. A little satchel pack, which I think she had explosives or something inside her, or ammo or whatever. If I was getting this, I'd be treating this as an artist's interpretation of the character, not a direct lift. If that makes sense, I really hope that's making sense, folks. Going to address the chat. It's so Copper, huge Aliens fan here too. I think we're all at 50 in the chat. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you being here. If you're enjoying the content, hit the like button. If you're disliking it, dislike the like button. And if you're not a subscriber and you haven't subscribed yet and you're enjoying this type of content and you're a diehard Aliens fan here, what are you waiting for? Game over, man. Game over. What to say here? I could quote the movie from start to finish, mostly. Brilliant. My regular version, Obi-Wan, waitlist, just converted. Oh, sorry, I just got a little brain fart there. I got to tell you this. This is a side tangent. So Dublin Comic Con, I think it happens twice a year. It's happening in August this year. And they've got some pretty good guests. Like, I'm not really the type of fan to pay for the photo and pay for the autograph, whatever like that. I didn't get any autographs or photos in Star Wars Celebration. And, you know, if you are the person who does that, like, totally cool. I totally get it. And I thought maybe it's just that, like, I actually prefer the Terminator 1 and 2 movies and the Alien 1 or 2 movies. I prefer that to Star Wars. You know, and I love original trilogy and Star Wars, but I do prefer those science fiction movies. But Dublin Comic Con has Linda Hamilton's going to be there. That's amazing. So, you know, Sarah Connor from Terminator 1 or 2. Michael Biehn. So you've got like Kyle Reese from Terminator 1. And you've got, is it Hicks or Hudson? It's Hicks. Hicks? I'm going with Hicks. Let me know if I'm wrong on that. I might have had a brain fart there. I think it's Hicks. He's gonna be there as well. So that's like you're meeting Kyle Reese and you're meeting it is Hicks. Am I having a brain fart? I need to Google that myself. I can't wait. Hicks Aliens. That's Michael Biehn, isn't it? Yeah, sorry, I had a little bit of brain fart there. Yes, Hicks and Robert Patrick. So T1000. Like, there are some pretty good guests, and I think the photo op is like €50 each. I mean, the photo op for Obi-Wan Kenobi at Star Wars Celebration was like £200. That's like €220 or something like that. Whereas I could see the three of them, the T1000, Sarah Connor, actually four, Kyle Reese and Hicks, for €150 instead of change for beer money. Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring the Hot Toys T800 and get Linda to sign the box. I mean, come on, not gonna be selling that figure, innit? Express elevator to hell, going down. Yeah, so good. I have some of the dirtier quotes in my mind. I picked up a special edition Obi-Wan a few weeks ago off waitlist. Good stuff. Me, Robocop 1, Terminator 1 and 2, Predator 1, Aliens 1 or 2, Dune, or some classic stand-ups for me from 80s and 90s. Yeah. You're speaking my language. How do you spell that? Oshima? A-O... I'll type it in the chat. A-O-S-H-I-M-A. Dropship. So I just popped it into the chat there. We're in the pipe 5x5. Yeah, Connor, I just put it in the chat there. Did you ever get the Aliens board game? The figures to the game was fantastic. I presume this is a joke. I don't know if maybe there's a joke that went over my head there, but no, I haven't played the Aliens board game. Or maybe you're winding me up here. That dropship is fine. Aha, now who has vehicle envy? You with your 1989 Jazz Inc. Batwing. Haha, touche. Although that thing is definitely not 6 scale, because let's face it, that would be ridiculous. You couldn't possibly do it. Present Toys are making Blade. I would never the figure. Maybe the power loader by itself. I see. Isn't Present Toys basically Toys era? I'm not sure. Sometimes they do that. They have like multiple different... Is Mars and Saturn Toys? Are they the same? I think they do that in case one of them gets shut down or whatever. Those face huggers in the movie were always creepy looking, but they looked cool. Yeah, I mean, the thought of something like that, like putting that kind of basically impregnating you, and then the thing rips out through your stomach. that's just... Ugh. Remember H.R. Giger, the designer of the Xenomorph and design, he's an artist, obviously, I'm sure you've heard of him. His artwork is incredible, like, but he described like the thought of like something crawling under his skin like that is one of the scariest things, and he ain't wrong. Hot Toys may be coming out with more Alien figures since Noah Hawley is creating a new show and Disney is all on in the franchise. This is the thing, Costa. Like, imagine they release some of the new figures from the show, if it's good or whatever, and then they go, you know what, it's time to revisit. Like, okay, any anniversaries coming up? Alien was 1979. I believe it was 1979. And then, so we're a while away there from an anniversary, but Aliens was 1986. Okay, we're 3 years away from the 40th anniversary on that. Would that be 40th anniversary? Yeah. Yeah, we can live in hope. Disney bought Fox. Yeah, Disney has. You know, it's, you know, if Hot Toys, obviously, their links with Star Wars and Marvel, they have that link now, and you know, there's a lot of kind of speculation saying that they're obliged to make certain characters from certain MCU shows and stuff like that, and the mouse has a bit more control than maybe Hot Toys would like. So if that's true, Disney's the mouse. Disney now owns Aliens and Predator. Hopefully it could work out for the benefit of some collectors. Sure, we are doing a Disney Plus series for Alien Isolation. I'll be real with you, these IPs do nothing for me. Aliens, Ghostbusters, Predator, Back to the Future, even Robocop, just not a fan of those. What age are you, Chuli? If you don't mind sharing. I wonder, are you in your 20s or in your 30s maybe? Maybe you're just like a little bit kind of young, maybe it's before your time. I can totally understand that. Just let us know. We're kind of trying to figure out, I'm figuring out why you don't like these amazing movies. But you know, each to their own. That is perfectly okay. Aliens game coming in June 2. Boba Fettuccine does not like what you're saying and called out. Okay. Just getting into the kind of differences here. We've got the red tops should not be there. I thought the red tops shouldn't have been there. And wrong shape, no gloves. Whoever sculpted this was on acid. Maybe acid for blood. And when you say you're going to get this, do you mean this on the screen, the flight officer, or do you mean the Oshima dropship? Pulse rifle looks cool. Pulse rifle is missing flamethrower attached. No, she has the flamethrower, but if you remember, in the movie she tapes, see the flamethrower here, if you look at it, the pulse rifle is separate, that's the pulse rifle. And then underneath here you have the flamethrower, and if you remember, in the movie she tapes the two of them together. So there was no bag, just her pockets to carry flares. I think there was a bag. I'm pretty sure there was a bag at some point, Michael. Remember the last time I watched it, I was trying to keep note of all the things she had. I think there was a bag. Should be strapped together, but I like that somebody is trying these much neglected IPs. Yeah, as in, like, I can't 100% rule this out. Like, I tend not to third party, but I do really like this, but it's not screen accurate. But I could probably maybe possibly suspend what is it, not belief. It's like, I would see this as an artist's interpretation of it, but then again I probably won't, because then I'm thinking, if you do this and you get this, you're not 100% on it, you're spending money out and you're also taking up space in the detail for the floating shelf or whatever in your collection room for something else that would have nailed another character. So yeah, like, it's in, I am glad they're doing it, like, and I haven't completely ruled it out because I just love this movie. But I wonder, like, if Hot Toys now with the Disney connection could possibly go back and do this, because this is the version I'd want. If I had one version, it'd be her with all this gear. I'd probably nearly pick that over the power loader, to be honest. Or maybe you get a massive DX set with the power loader and her and all the gear, so you can display her like this, or you can display her with the power loader. Man can live and dream. The face sculpt is too harsh. My love for Aliens stems to comics, as John Byrne used Sigourney Weaver as inspiration for Kitty Pryde's look in the X-Men comics. Good stuff. 53 in the chat. Thank you for watching. Phil reckons she looks like Jim Morrison. The Prime 1 statue on pre-order looks better in my opinion. Cool. You're saying Hicks. Let's not forget Michael Biehn was in Mando. Yes, he was. He was in Ahsoka's episode. I saw Alien 1979, the age of 17. It scared the shit out of me, and I saw Alien before I had a driver's license. In those days, they didn't show movies in every theater. I had to travel to see it. Stuff. That's just the name of that that dropship, that the diecast dropship that I showed you. Love HR Giger, good stuff. King Ding-a-ling, a live stream is not a live stream without King Ding-a-ling. Everyone has to say that when you arrive, that's the rule. I missed the old Hot Toys military base figures, but yeah, licensed stuff is where the money is at. You are right. So, alright. I'm turning 39 on, man, we are the same. Yeah, like I'm 40 in November, so we're very, very similar vintage. I was still a young Padawan, but I don't dislike those movies, just not big enough. That's fair. That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Do you know? I thought you might have been like, 29 or in your 20s, kind of maybe just after your time. Then I could completely understand. There's definitely figures that were, or sorry, movies that were released, long before my time that say my father would like, or people his age would like, and then I'd be like, yeah, they don't do anything for me. But then again, movies that like were maybe 10 years, 20 years before I was born that I watch and I really, really, really enjoy, and I see how good they are, like the Godfather movies. Well, 1 and 2 anyway. So, King Ding-a-ling says she had a satchel carrying the explosive rounds. She threw it when she got Newt and wanted to destroy all the eggs. Yeah. Boba says, by the way, congrats on exceeding 2,000 subs. Hashtag big time. No. We got the small time attitude here. But I do appreciate that. Seamless arms too, yeah. And I presume the egg behind. Yeah, I would say so, Phil. I was just looking at that. Look, it's nice when you wake up to something like this from one of your favorite movies. I feel a bit guilty not getting it, but I just, when I say I'm going to get something, I like to commit, so I'm going to sit in the fence now for this one. I don't think I'm going to get it. I would rather either a fully licensed Hot Toys one, or even one that looks a bit more, that looks like Sigourney Weaver, because I just don't think that this looks like Sigourney Weaver. It's almost like that they weren't trying to make it look like her, like they were going in their own direction for almost like an animated interpretation or something like that. I hope that's making sense. But it does look cool. It does look cool. I like the way the flamethrower and the pulse rifle. The pulse rifle is just a cool weapon. I do like the expression on her. She looks like a badass. And even like, yeah, they have the glove here. She never wore gloves, but maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's a bit more of a kind of an interpretation of it, possibly. All right, so we're going to go back to I'm going to show you one more look at this this dropship here. The video doesn't really do it justice. And it's bloody heavy. But like you can close up the door that opens up to, you can actually, if you get the APC, Oshima also did the APC in the same scale, and it fits inside in the dropship. And you can like put the door up with the APC inside it, and you can close those 4 pieces that rotate, the 2 parts left and right of the canopy with the rockets, and the ones above top, they all fold together as well. Oh yeah, and there's swap out landing gear. You can swap out the landing gear here. The landing gear is obviously down. You can swap it out for the raised up landing gear. So just the bottom feet just attached onto it. It's pretty cool. Thing's bloody heavy. Michael is adamant did not have a satchel. Shiny one. I remember nothing but satchels in the movie. That's funny. What price is she? If you're talking about the flight officer, I believe around 140. People are throwing around 140. I don't know the official price yet, but I just have seen that. I think someone in the chat was saying it. So we'll just get rid of that. And back onto this. Good movies span generations. If you're talking about the, by the way, if you're talking about the Oshima dropship, I think I got it for maybe €300 or something like. But it's probably cheaper than maybe 250 or something. I can't really remember. But now I've seen it on eBay, anywhere from 600, 700, 800, even used. Good movies span generations. Like some like it hot. She had a grenade sling she tossed into the burning eggs. I need to go watch it again. She could be the Dark Horse comic version. Possibly. That's what I'm saying. It looks kind of comic book inspired, to be honest. Maybe I'm losing my mind on that, but that makes sense, Copper. Okay, so we're back. Alright, so this is episode 3 of the Hope Show. If you're just joining us, if you're watching on the replay, shout out to you. I do appreciate it. If you're enjoying the content, 50 people in the chat now, really do appreciate it. Just click the like and subscribe button if you're into the content. Right, so leveling up the collection. In order to level up and talk about the next step in my own collection display, because I think as collectors with our displays, we always think about leveling up. We do kind of go, okay, in the future I'd like this. And now, lately I've been thinking a lot, like, as in, okay, if I don't do this now, then when? Like, it's like, yeah, I'd like to get fusion reactors. If not now, then when? And it's like, yeah, I'd like to get CCFL lightsabers. If not now, then when? Yeah, I'd like to get, like, you know, a Philips U light and have different color lights in the room, something like. So there's been a lot of that kind of just get it done, like, you know. So it's not, I know it's not as easy. You can't just go out and go. Like, I was talking to someone recently that had like 16 Jedis with lightsabers. Like, you can't go out and buy 16 CCFLs. Like, you know, you got to eat. You got to pay your rent. Same with the fusion reactors. And then if you do that, there comes with time and effort. So I'm definitely looking into elevating my collection and display and how I'm displaying. And I'm been a bit more aggressive with it in recent times because I just want to get some... I want to move the collection to the next level. So we'll start off. This here on the screen, this is, I started off with an IKEA Mills bow. Now, this is actually still down in the sitting room. I'm very, very lucky. She doesn't mind. And currently I have it, my Trooper display is down in this. Okay, but this is like when I first moved into the house, when the details weren't built or they were in the process of being built. I unboxed a few figures and I got this set up. So this is the IKEA Mills bow. It's an aluminium framed display cabinet. It obviously has glass on the front, the back, and the levels are glass as well. It's a really, really classy cabinet. The lights are, I can't pronounce the word. They're just these like, they're like these 8, there's 8 of them, one for each section. They're stick-on LED strips. Basically, you get this magnet, and on the one side is a magnet, and the other side there is like heavy-duty, kind of like basically like a Gorilla Tape. You peel that off, stick it where you want, and that's the thing that the LED strip actually magnetizes onto. And you take them all off. The reason they're magnets because you can take them all off and charge them up via USB and then put them on. It comes with a remote and everything like that. And similar, you know, you can have them like at different. You can have a warm tone, a cool tone. You can have them like programmed just to click on for like a half an hour or an hour or just indefinitely. And they're not as nice as the Luke lights, because the Luke lights are just the Luke lights are better because they're plugged in. You don't have to charge them. You don't have to have the hassle. You know, one click, they're all on. It has the cool tone, even the angle of them, and the fact that the diffuser, that they're much better. But this is fine for now. But so what you have there, top left, you have the Beskar Mandalorian, you've got Endgame Cap, and then the next level down, you've got the Homecoming Deluxe Spider-Man, and then you have a figure I don't actually own anymore. I've sold it on to third-party bank robber Joker. Then on the left, then on the second from the bottom, you've got Deadpool 2 in his trainee outfit, the Mark 6, and then the bottom you've Batman from Batman vs Superman. This is the battle damaged armored one, and then you've got the Justice League Superman. So this is a very simple, beautiful display. I really like it, but it's not what, like, again, like, it's a lovely cabinet, the IKEA Mills bow. But this is still down in my TV room. At the moment, it's all troopers. The only trooper that I don't have downstairs now, the only trooper that I still have up here is the original trilogy trooper, because you'll see later on it's part of my original trilogy display on the top. So my plan for this is to have I treat this as like, you know the way if you walk into a museum, like let's say if you've ever been to MoMA in New York, they have these different sections where they have these temporary exhibits. You know, maybe it's like a certain painter or a certain group of artists, or a certain, maybe it's, I don't know, pop art or something like that, or a certain type of sculpture. So my plan would be kind of like, you know, I could have like a Stormtroopers only display one time, or I could have like a Batman only display another time. But what I'd really like to do is, because there's 8 slots, have like hero, villain, hero, villain, hero, villain, and hero, villain, and pick characters that everyone, no matter who you are when you walk in to the house, whether you're into pop culture or not, if you're just a fair weather fan, everyone knows, well, that's Batman, that's the Joker, that's Superman, that's Spider-Man. You know, I think that'd be a pretty cool display. So that's something that I'm kind of working on. So you could have like the DX19, the in-art Joker. Maybe you'd have like Spider-Man and, you know, Mysterio or Doc Ock, or someone really, really like noticeable. Besman Luke and 40th anniversary Vader, you know. So this is basically while I was getting the DTOF set up. So the next one then, these are the DTOFs. Obviously there's 5 IKEA DTOFs with the white bottom on it. And they're sitting on, I think it's 1, 2, 3. They're sitting on 3, are they Bestas? I can't remember. I think they're Bestas, yeah. So you can see them on the bottom there. There's 3 separate, I just want to make sure I have that right. I have that right? I don't think it's a Besta, is it? I don't think they're Bestas. I'm trying to double check that now. Calyx, sorry, Calyx, that's it, sorry. Calyx. Yeah, do you know what the Calyx, there's loads of different versions. You can get the 1-hole ones, the 2-holes, the 4, whatever. But what you have is like the 5 DTOFs are sitting on 3 different Calyx, and each Calyx has 2 holes. And then these are the Jenna or Shenna. There's cardboard boxes that I use for storage, stuff like that. And you can get more fancy ones with drawers and stuff like that. But so this is when I was building the DTOFs. Yeah, Calyx. You're right, Michael. So this is then when after putting the Luke lights in and getting them set up. This is just actually putting everything into them. And just at the time, like I still had the setup here that I showed you already. I still had all this stuff downstairs, so that's why it's, you know, not here. So you notice the Mark 6 isn't here, the Homecoming Spider-Man isn't here, the Batman and Superman's not here because they're downstairs. And I'm gradually, like, you know, there's you know, waiting on pre-orders, and I don't have enough to fill them up and stuff like that. So it was a nice stage, because maybe a lot of the figures that I have now, you know, I didn't have then. So the van now, obviously, you know, it's some mind-blowing figures, and I've worked back on a few. But it's a nice feeling, kind of going, oh yeah, it doesn't matter if something comes in, I can just put it there because I have that space. Whereas now, as I've got to be a bit more creative, now I've got to be a bit more, do you need like 9 Iron Men or whatever? You know, are you actually going to keep this figure for life if you buy it? Or, you know, be a bit more, you know. I think Calyx is Kalex. So this here, then you can see the evolution start, and I think there's a 2 or 3 Shore Troopers there in the middle. I actually really liked that setup. Now still, it's not full up, like, so I'm just kind of getting there. I'm just flicking through. Actually, see the bottom right corner here? You've got, like, this is not Hot Toys, and it's not 1/6 scale. It's a big chap from McFarlane, and I thought it would work in the collection, but it really didn't. It stood out like a sore thumb. The scaling wasn't the same. The detail wasn't as nice, and it was like there's a little broken joint in it. But one of my friends, I gave it to him, and he used it for photography and stuff like that. He's a big Alien fan. And so you can see they're starting to fill up. And some of these figures are no longer with us. No, they're no longer with me anyway. Like, just not too many. I don't sell often, but sometimes I have to or want to. I'll give you an example here. The bottom 3 here, no longer here. Because going from right to left, that Bane is a third-party Bane. There's 2 third-party figures on this photo. There's 2 third-party figures, well actually 3 I've ever owned. So the Bank Robber Joker was Daft Toys with some I don't know, normal regular body. Pretty nice piece though. And then the Daft Toys Bane on the right, it was again like a Fison M35. Soon as I saw that Hot Toys version go up, and because how good it was, I was like, right, I have to. So I sold that one off. The middle here is the DX02. The DX02 is the only Hot Toys figure I ever ordered that when I unboxed it, I went, I'm really underwhelmed by this, because if you're following the channel, you know how much I love the Dark Knight trilogy and Bale's Batman and this particular suit, but this was a disaster. I'm not going to go into it. It's not a good figure. I personally don't think it. I sold it off even before the DX19 was announced in anticipation for the DX19. I think that's what I'm pretty sure that's what I did. But yeah, and even look at it now, the DX19 is amazing, and now there's this new version come out. But but like the gap between a DX02 and DX19 is literally night and day. So, and then the Daft Toys Bank Robber Joker was the only third party left, and I was like, I've got 2 rooted Jokers coming in, probably pale in comparison, so that's gone. And the only other thing that I sold here is I actually sold the Heavy Mando. I did, and I did. Great figure, looks the part, great character, pretty epic last stand. But when it comes to Mandalorian, I'm never going to complete everything. I just want the key episodes that I really, really love. The Return of Boba Fett, the Boba Roba 2-pack, amazing. Ahsoka's first live action appearance, amazing. Some of the best Star Wars media I've ever seen. Luke, I just swooned about Luke for an entire live stream yesterday, especially with that CCFL saber. I'm going to put up some photos here now. Obviously, you need a version of the Beskar Mando because it's his show. After that, then, I nearly get Cad Bane. As much as it wasn't Mandalorian, I do consider episodes 5 and 6 of the Book of Boba Fett Mandalorian season 2.5. And I genuinely think that scene where Cad Bane walks out of the desert and squares off against Cobb Vanth, one of my favorite pieces of Star Wars media. So I think that'll be a nice shelf, because 5 key moments there from the Mando journey. Then again, like I do like the new Moff Gideon. I didn't get Moff Gideon because I didn't particularly like the head sculpt, but right, so we'll move on to the next part here. So this is the first time then, this is what it looked like the first time I ever had it complete. So this is around the time I started streaming. So I'll go through all these if I can remember now. I think the top left is, I think that's Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett. So I'm going up to the top row from left to right. Heavy Mando, then the Beskar Mando, then the standard Stormtrooper, and then the top right, the Incinerator Trooper. Then the next level down, Cody, Remnant Trooper. I've got 3 in the middle DTOF second from the top. I've got the 3 different Shore Troopers, 3 different versions. The one from Rogue One that was going for like crazy money for the reissue. Then I've got the one with the Kama, and then I've got the Grunt as well. Then the Death Trooper, and then the Stormtrooper Commander. And the second row from the bottom, Endgame Cap, Mark 47. In the center, the War Machine, Mark 4. Then the Mysterio, an upgraded suit. And then the bottom row is Batman, the armor, battle damage armor Batman from Batman vs Superman, Justice League Superman. The third party Daft Toys Bank Robber Joker. And then the third party Daft Toys Bane kit. And then Deadpool 2. Yeah, it's just, I see your comment there, Chuli. I have the X-Force jersey on my Deadpool 2. I think it adds something more. That's a great figure, but I really like the trainee uniform on it. And as a shout out, that's one of those forever poses. I just very reluctant to take it out of that pose because I just love the way it looks. I'm going to catch up with some of these chats. The dropship is amazing. It comes with a big stash of satchels at the back, like she definitely had in the movie. Oh, that's funny. Why are you asking me to spell things? It's because I spelled Ashima. That's why I ordered the module cases now, as I'm starting and anticipating more and larger pieces. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. You're trying to future-proof yourself. It's smart. OCD was 100% alive and well in the house. You can't control everything in life, but you can control your collection, and it's very therapeutic when you do. These display cabinets are levels better than module cases, in my opinion. Are you talking about the Detolfs, or are you talking about the Millsbow? The dropship is also out there if you self-assemble it. It is from Alien vs Predator. The hunt begins unleashed. Proto's games board game. I'm not sure what that is. I must check that out. Not a fan of Modu to begin. I prefer Detolfs to them. Yeah, cool. I can see the benefits of both of them, but I know that if I get Modu cases, I'll miss Detolfs. But I know if I get Modu cases, then I will see the benefits of both. Like, I could fit more figures in with Modu cases. Definitely, with taking up the same floor space I have behind me, I would fit a lot more figures, probably twice the amount of figures, and they'd still be able to breed. But I do like the 1 to 2 figures per shelf look. I really, really like how this looks, and it's going to get better because this is what I want to do. I want to level up. The Millsbow comes with lights. No, they're magnetic lights that you stick them on, and then the lights come off the magnet and you can take them off the charge. This looks great, Shane. I presume you're talking about I think that was the Millsbow you're talking about. 1 figure per shelf is definitely the way to go. I do like that way, clearly. These figures look more presentable when arranged further apart from each other. Cluttered cheapens the look, in my opinion. Although for those with hundreds of figures, I can understand the problem. Yep. Collector Joey in the house, channel member. And just going through here. Late Bloomer, how are you doing? Been thinking about getting that bird poop boba. It looks great. It is one of the coolest figures. Every time I turn around, I actually think it's my favorite look for Boba Fett. And I have the Empire Strikes Back one above, but like, there's certain figures that always catch my attention. I've got the Boba Roba 2-pack displayed behind me, just next to each other, as in just showing, like, you know, just the 2 different versions of him. And it's just like, ever since I got it out of the box, it's been put on the shelf, and it'll probably stay there for a long time. The head sculpt's amazing. The detail on the kind of Sarlacc pit damaged Boba is just fantastic. Battle damaged armored Batman. Yeah, it's an amazing figure as well. I prefer the clean look of Detolfs with 1 per shelf, but I need the space, so rather than several Detolfs and a Costa case, just doing 1 mall of Modu cases. I totally get that. I love that everyone calls it the bird poop Boba. It's like the Devil's Workshop. Oh god, right. Oh, a bit of indigestion there or something. Falling apart, lads. So, like, the next thing I'm going into here is the kind of evolution, because this, even what you're looking at on screen now, is probably about a year ago. Like, I can completely see the arguments for and against Detolfs and Modu cases. Like, it really does come down to personal preference. Like, I know if I got Modu cases, I'd miss the clean look of the Detolfs. But I also know if I got Modu cases, then I would have more space and I would be able to display them in kind of a clean look as well. I see a lot of people with Modu cases, but I don't always, just because people have Modu cases doesn't mean their displays are nice. Like, when I think of really nice displays at Modu cases, I immediately think of Mario's El Profesoro, and the way he has them layered. He has them all kind of enough space to breed, and I think he uses risers for the ones behind. There's like 2 rows. There's a front row and then there's a back row, and even they're spaced that well. He's obviously spent a lot of time just laying them out correct. I think Graham from Jedi Knights Watch does a good job, and the guy that comes on with Graham something is a Dilo. I hope I've got that right. His display looks pretty cool as well, and I think they're all ModuCase guys. So I mean, I can't kind of. I don't want to like, just because I don't have ModuCases, just be all detail and not recognize the benefits of having ModuCases, because there's definite pros and cons of both. So this is a good question here. Shane, what is your plan when you arrive at 100 figures, lol? You know, I'm not sure will I ever quite get to 100 figures. And you know, you can clip and GIF that for when I do, and you can go, remember the time you said this. But that's kind of part of the reason, like, I'm doing the stream as well, to level up. Like, I was in, where can I add in extra things? Like, how do I, if I want to keep just the DTOFs, then, you know, there's numerous options. Okay, I like to run through things in my head. Off the top of my head, Shuli, obviously, I don't use bases. You know, there's a few exceptions. Like behind me right now, I'm using the InArt Joker base, the magnetic one, because I love it. I think it's cool. I have the Justice League Superman on base because I wanted it levitating, and next to him then I have his counterpart, you know, this Batman, the battle damage armor Batman, because even though it was, you know, even though they're from technically different movies, essentially I wanted Batman versus Superman, and I preferred the Justice League Vibrant Blue, so I got that over the Batman versus Superman version. But because Superman was on a base, then Batman needed that little bit of a lift, so that's why I put him on a base. But essentially I don't use bases. I like to keep it clean like that. So to answer your question, these are the options available. I can start, when appropriate, putting more than one figure per shelf. Okay, so then your 20 spaces becomes 40. There's that. That's not always going to work. That can look really cluttered if it's not done right. Personally, again, when I say it's not done right, it's if it's not done right for me. So I might look at that and go, no, it's just too much. Whereas if you look at my display at the moment, I can actually just go full screen temporarily here. 1 second. You know what? I'll actually flick through. When I get to that stage, I'll show you what I do. I actually flick through it now. Do you know what? I'll come back to that comment, Shuli. Well, I'll explain what I want to explain, then I'll come back to that particular part. But yeah, so there's a few options. Start displaying more than one per shelf. Okay. Another option then by Roy Visser is the first person I heard talking about this, rotate your collection. Okay. Sometimes if you just pose all your figures, you set and forget, and you don't do anything for like 6 months, it can get kind of boring. So what you could do then is kind of take out some figures, box them up, and then take other figures that you have undisplayed, bring them down, and just repose them up and freshen up your collection. There's that. So there's a few benefits to that. You keep your collection rotating, so you're keeping your collection display fresh. It never looks the exact same. Disadvantage of that, of course, is then you have some figures in boxes undisplayed, and people will argue as well, you have a $300 figure and you're not displaying it. That's crazy. And I get that argument as well. But it depends on what you want more. Like, I would rather have a cleaner display and rotate the collection than pack everything in and just to display it for the sake of it, personally. But other people be like, no way, I want to display everything, and that's 100% fine. So it doesn't have to be one figure per shelf all the time, but there's certain stages where 2 or even 3 figures in a one cube will work, and there's certain stages where 2 will not work. And again, it depends on the pairings, it depends on the posing, it depends on what's next to it in the shelf. And you'll see later on that symmetry is very important. And I'll explain that when I come to my current setup, because I took a photo later on. But thanks for the question, Julie. I do appreciate it. Another thing as well, you'll see later on as well, I'm talking about putting in another floating shelf. I currently have like a pyramid of 5, and there's another space where I could add one. It will change my floating shelf display to be from symmetrical to asymmetrical, but it will still actually work quite well. That gives you another floating shelf. That's 2 to 3 figures there, you know? So I don't know when I ever reach 100 figures, but I think if the clean display was still important to me, yes, I would add more than one figure into the cube when appropriate, but I will also have to do some rotating. I hope that answers your question. But that was a great one. We got mileage out of that. for me, the Detolf looks much cleaner, classier. And again, each to their own, 100%. There is no wrong way to display. No truer words have ever been spoken. Costa gets it. I went with the Billy bookcases. I also added a new Billy drawers for storage. Excellent, good idea. That's future-proofing yourself as well. I got some of those tackle boxes to store some accessories in. Actually, and William as well, like if you hit me up on Instagram, I can give you the email address, and if you're keen to show pictures of the collection, maybe this time next week I can showcase your I think this time next week I'm showcasing X-Man Supremes. We were talking on Instagram about that, and then a week after that I can showcase yours, so I'm doing that for the Commanders. That definitely will have risers, but I'm also going to use the space to set up scenes. I had all the McFarlane figure with the Spawn Alley playset as a kid. They were all engaged. Good stuff. Yeah, a lot of people are big into the scene. I know Lael does big into the scenes. He does it quite well. Some great pictures he put up recently there, photos of his in-art Joker in it looked like a jail cell, and it looks like the in-art Joker had like graffitied all over it. Looks pretty cool. Our displays are under no obligation to make sense to anyone other than ourselves. 100%. To each their own, like you said, Shane. It really does come down to person. It does. Essentially, 99% of the time, you're the one looking at your collection. Got to run now and turn in my rental from the weekend. Every time I hear about someone returning rentals, I think of I need to return some videotapes. Come on, folks, you know the movie. First person gets the point. I need to return some videotapes. I actually like Justin's really massive collection. It looks supery dupery, but seeing golden armor Wonder Woman standing around with no wings hurts me a little bit. Yeah, and you know, it's kind of, everyone's so different, and like obviously the collection is like maybe one of a kind in the world. Maybe there's a handful of other people who have that kind of volume, and I do actually really like watching those videos. Like, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff there. A lot of organizing. I don't have much space, so rotating is the only option for me. Good stuff. My Detolfs and shells are rammed. Video cassettes. Conquer Night in with American Psycho. Yeah, I need to return some videotapes. The big hit. American Psycho. All right, so we'll move on. So that display there you're looking at now was about a year ago. So it's just it from another angle. It's even like the Shore Troopers here. Yeah, there's three of them. They're filling the space well. There's no stands. They're all three different variants of the one trooper, and they're all in different poses. But it works because it makes sense. They're like a little battalion there. Also, because they're in the center, the display could potentially look a bit unbalanced if I had that anywhere else. But because it's like the middle Detolf, because there's an odd number of Detolfs, so the middle one is kind of like prime real estate, it actually works like a focal point. This is kind of funny. Like, this was the 1st of August of 2022. So that's the day I hit 1,000 subs, and I come back and the girlfriend had bought me like 4 balloons, a 1, a 0, a 0, and a 0. Thought that was quite nice. Like, support. I won it in a prize, I swear. This is from Halloween. So that's a Shepperton Studios Stormtrooper armor, and that's me. How could you not know? Protecting my collection. So yeah, that's it's something I always wanted, and I kind of bit the bullet there last year. I think it was September last year, thereabouts. But they're made like in 1976. Shepperton Studios in England were contracted to make the molds for the original Stormtrooper outfits. So that's what that is there. It's a bit of an ordeal putting it on, but once you get it on, then it's a lot of fun. It chafes. It's you know you're wearing it. It pinches in parts. It's very difficult to see out the lenses. No wonder they don't hit anything, but it's a whole lot of fun wearing it for the day. And now we're on to I took this photo today, so this is where I'm at now. This is the current up-to-date display. So from left to right, from top to bottom, you got Snowspeeder Luke, you got the Empire Strikes Back 40th anniversary Boba Fett. You've got the New Hope Alec Guinness Obi-Wan. You've got original trilogy regular Stormtrooper. You've got Lando. Then the next shelf down, or next row down, you've got the DX19 Batman with the custom Jackson Ju cape, courtesy of my friend Alan, the 6 Scale Gallery. In the middle, now this is a perfect example of a pairing that works very well. So you've got, again, no stands, the Mark 6 Iron Man, the one with the triangular shaped arc reactor, my favorite Iron Man suit, and the Mark 1 War Machine in the same cube, just posed. I kind of like was going for like a movie poster, kind of almost back to back, side to side, kind of like a stance. And I just actually, there's a photo on my Instagram that I absolutely love, and I just literally took the two of these. They didn't do anything, just liked the way they're posed there. Took them out, popped them in the light box. First photo, bang, didn't even take another one. I was like, I just got lucky with the way I had the camera set up and the light set up and the angle I took it. And I actually love that photo. It's on my Instagram. You'll know the one. It's just the Mark 6 Iron Man and the Mark 1 War Machine. But these two here now, we'll be talking about these later on. But if you look at the pairings here, right? Let me go through the rest of this and look at the pairings. So that's just an example of a pairing that makes a lot of sense. It doesn't look cluttered because it makes sense, in my opinion. So you got the Mark 47 then, and you got the Deluxe Spider-Man Homecoming Spider-Man with the yellow blazer and all that. That's a forever pose. That was the image that made me want that figure. I worked backwards on that figure when it was going for $1,000 on eBay. I ended up getting it shipped brand new for $400. I'll take that. Then the next one down, you've got the second last row. You've got the Beskar Mando. That's just the original Beskar Mando. It's not the chromed one. Boba Robot 2-pack. Luke with that CCFL from R15 Customs. You got Deadpool from Deadpool 2. The Cable. And just in this week, hot off the press, the DX13 Arnie from T800 from Terminator 2. That's with the ripped version. There's two different coats, leather coats he comes with. This is the one with the no left arm. And he does a swap out part, regular arm or battle damage arm. You've got the grenade launcher with the bandolier and the heavily battle damage sculpt, and we'll be talking about that later on as well, talking about leveling up. Then the bottom row, the battle damaged armored Batman, the Justice League Superman. I tend to put them there. I just like having them in that position next to each other and to the left. I've got the die-cast Robocop then. I think that's the MMS 203 DO5 with the chair, and then Mysterio and the upgraded suit. So that's what it is. Now, Chewie asked me a question about what are you going to do when you hit 100 figures? I'm going to have to rely a bit more on my pairings if I want to fit more figures in the collection without making it look cluttered. And I'm going to have to rely possibly on rotating, but obviously I'd rather display instead of rotating. But if you look at this now, right, so look, the middle is prime real estate. I'd say prime real estate. If you have 5 detolfs, naturally, and if you have an odd number of detolfs, the middle detolf on the wall will be prime real estate. And around eye level, so middle at eye level is prime real estate. And that's where your real showstoppers go. And that's where I have the two die-cast, the War Machine Mark 1 and the die-cast Mark 6. Makes sense, they're both in Iron Man 2. They're both like buddy up, team up scene, that kill box scene at the end. I've swapped out all the clean parts for the battle damage part, and I do have fusion reactors on the way, so that should elevate this already good display. Now, if you look at the other two situations on this screen where I have paired up figures, like if you just look where they are, you've got the Boba Robot 2-pack on the second detolf, second from the bottom, just above Justice League Superman. And I've got the Deadpool 2 and Cable, again, they're second from the bottom, but they're on the other side of the Mando Luke. So they're the second. The Boba Robot 2-pack was second from the left. The Deadpool and Cable is second from the right, and they're both at the same level. So there's almost a natural triangle forming between the Mark 6 and the Mark 1, the Boba Robot 2-pack, and then the Cable. So it adds a bit more symmetry. Plus, if you look at the Robocop, the Robocop is a big show-stopping piece because it's not just him and a gun, it's him sitting on the chair like a throne. So I think if you put that maybe too far to the left or right, your display could look a little bit unbalanced. So that's why I put it directly underneath. So it's almost like a diamond, and that might seem a bit stupid or a bit like, oh god, this guy's crazy OCD. But it matters when you're trying to balance out the collection and keep it clean. And I'm going to have to rely on that going forward as well. For example, if I had to maybe put another 2 figures in here, it would make sense to put them in the bottom left detolf and the bottom right detolf, as in detolf number 1 bottom level and detolf number 5 bottom level, because it will just draw out that triangle a bit more and maintain a clean look and a symmetrical look. I do think that actually matters when you're trying for that clean look. And it's nice as well that in the center as well, you've got that flash of light from that CCFL. I actually love the setup I have at the moment. And of course, you know, a new figure will come in and you'll have to change it around. That's the fun bit. It's basically figure Tetris. So, sorry, I'm just going to address some of these chats here. I use IKEA Lax, the 40-inch long floating shelves. I aim for about 5 to 7 figures max per shelf. The asymmetry of odd numbers I love. Yeah, and again, this super, like, it's just different types of ways to display. What do you guys think of the Commander Fox hot toy? I didn't realize Commander Fox was a thing until the figure was released, to be honest. So for me, you're probably asking the wrong person. I'm watching Clone Wars. I'm on season 4, but I'm glacially slow going through them. But yeah, it wouldn't be for me. You know, looks like a clone to me, I guess. But then you ask someone else who's diehard, like if you're talking to Jeddah be like, loves it, have to have more clones, because he's a clone guy. He loves the Clone Wars, and he loves collecting clones, the army builds and stuff. So I suppose it depends who you ask. For me, it didn't do anything for me, so I won't be picking it up. The only trooper that doesn't miss. If you're talking about me in that suit, I definitely walked into some stuff. Or maybe Fox is the only trooper that doesn't miss. One of the cleanest content creator collections in the kingdom. That's funny. Fart level shelf should be for bad figures so they know their place. Actually, the thing is, that was one thing when I got my collection, like, and I got my details. I didn't want there to be a bottom level. So you might be going, well, that's outrageous. There's always going to be a bottom level. What are you going to do? Just not put things in the bottom level, not put things in the bottom level. You raise them. You get your risers. They're above the carpet. They're away from any potential dust or something like that, and it elevates that bottom level and it gives it more respect. Plus, when you use the risers, you have space for storage as well, which is come on, it's vital for accessories or whatever you want. The collectors connect for exactly 100%. Shane, your reasonings make sense to me. I'd think the same way. Subconscious balance, keeping things very clean, and balances are bravo, sir. Man, appreciate that, Keith. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Everyone hasn't just abandoned the stream because this guy's losing his marbles. It does look so much better with risers. I think so. Risers make a big difference. Like, I think it was I would completely agree. I've heard loads of collectors saying it, but I definitely remember Jay, brother cousin, saying it before, that the pieces you have, how you display your collection is as important as the figures you collect. 100%, that is the way I think. Like, so I remember him saying that before, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, I agree. So we're kind of at the stage now. I've took you through the journey of how it started, how it's going, like the meme, and now we're thinking about the future. So this is kind of like almost my own visions, but like that's where the idea for the Visions live stream came from, because I was interested to know how collectors got started, where they are now, you know, like how many figures they have now, who they buy from, their buying habits, do they pre-orders, how they're displaying them, you know, what things, etc, etc. So sorry, this is the final piece of the puzzle. This is actually, now you've seen pretty much everything. The only thing I haven't actually shown you, I didn't take a photo of the Mills bow down below. I took a photo of it, but I showed you an old picture, but I should have actually taken a picture of it now with the trooper display. But this is the floating shelves. These are floating shelves that I have. This is like literally as I can see it there right now. So like from this point of view, if you're sitting in the streaming chair, this is what you're looking at, the laptop and everything behind you. You have the details. So Yeah, so there's 5 floating shelves. They're IKEA Lax. They're the shorter versions. I know Brandon Salad mentioned their wider counterparts. Front and center, you've got the only quarter scale in the collection, the Mark III. Then from left to right here, you have the Mark 85 battle damage, the endgame cap. You've got the Iron Patriot with rocket on the shoulders. Note, no stands. No stands. You've got Thanos, and even Thanos is on his base, but I'm not using the stand because it limits where you can put him. Endgame Loki, and then again you have the battling version Spider-Man from No Way Home, and again, yeah, he's standing on that. There's no like little crotch grab or anything. He's literally just balanced on that diorama base that he comes with. And then down below, I just took the T800 out. I kind of like having a few figures just on around the work area here. So obviously they got the in-art diorama here, the second part. Obviously the purple coat was behind me, and here you have the non-smirking version because I'm waiting on the smirking sculpt. But yeah, just sitting there. I actually just put it there after unboxing it, and I just really like having it there now. It's just because when I'm streaming I can just take a look at it. It looks amazing. So that's where we're at. So in terms of leveling up, so this, I did a short on this CCFL, I did a review on the CCFL, and a whole entire live stream dedicated, because I was really, really happy how this turned out, because that was one of the worries I had. I want to get fusion reactors. That's one of the level ups I want to do. I want to get more CCFLs. That's another one of the leveled ups I want to do. And then I also want to add maybe another floating shelf here. And when I got this to look this clean, I was like, okay, I'm really excited now, because the possibilities now are just whirring around my head, and that's why these are possible level ups. So I'm just going to show you. This is just brand new into the collection. You can see the wire that's coming out the back of the hilt of that lightsaber, and that's just going down the side. But yeah, I love this. Right, so going to address the chats, and then I'm going to explain the significance of these blue circles. Julie says, I've been on the stream since I started and forgot I was at work. My work here is done. Julie, don't get fired in my account. Picked up the DX23 last week. My 203 figure. I have the house remodel display. Everything, good stuff. That DX23, lovely. Risers in module cases, detops. Yeah, you're dead right, Ian. Casual nerd problems. Sup, peeps? Funny how we all invest a ton into our collectibles, but we are frugal with our stream stuff. I use a 13-inch laptop still to stream. Alright, yeah, interesting. This is a MacBook Pro. I don't know, is it 15-inch or 17 or something like that, but yeah, it's the picture actually. The picture makes it look small. So I love floating shelves. Yeah, dead right. What happened to the quarter scale Batman? Sideshow happened. Well, actually, in fairness, I haven't paid off the last payment, so I won't go into that rant. I don't think they've gotten it though. I'm kind of hoping it gets delayed, because then I can cancel, keep my NRD, and buy it cheaper in Hong Kong. But yeah, it's coming. Don't you worry. It will not escape. I don't mind dusting. I get Michael Caine, and he comes in twice a week. Can the in-art Joker jail cell diorama fit in your details? It does. I've never done it, but I've seen Dan from 6 Scale Reviews confirmed it can. You can put it in the bottom shelf, all shelves apart from the top, because whatever shelf you put it in, you've got to slip the bars through in between the back glass and the glass shelf above. So obviously you can't do it on the top because there's no glass shelf. So these two, the next thing basically I want to get more CCFLs, because now that I know how to wire them cleanly, I want to get more. But not every single Jedi or Sith or every single figure that you have that has a lightsaber needs a CCFL. Okay, I don't want to get them for the sake of it because they're expensive, and I don't want every second shelf to have a lightsaber. I just think that will take away from the essence of it, you know? So these two figures on top are the only other Jedis I have in the collection currently. So you've got the Luke Skywalker Snowspeeder, my favorite figure of last year, and Ben Kenobi. I'm not going to get CCFLs for either of them. And I'll tell you why. Because if you look at the top left, that Luke Skywalker is posed with a lot of the different accessories. He has the lightsaber hanging off his belt. I really like that, the little kind of metallic lightsaber it comes with. He's got the blaster in the holster. He's holding the grappling gun that he uses to shoot up and attach himself to the AT-AT. He's got the helmet on. There's a lot going on there. And I'm happy enough with that. I don't need to have a lightsaber there with that. The Alec Guinness is posed in a way where he's using the Force with his left hand and he's about to ignite his lightsaber with his right hand. So I don't necessarily need to have a CCFL there. However, I've got Ahsoka en route, and R15 Custom do a 2-pack with the hilts, the one straight hilt and the one curved hilt, and the 2 light up CCFL white lightsabers. I have to do that. I absolutely have to do that. Because that's an integral part of my Mando shelf. Because remember, I wanted, like, you know, I nearly have them all here. The key moments from the Mando show: the Boba Roba 2-pack, the Luke in the season finale of season 2, Ahsoka, obviously a version of Mando. I may still upgrade to that chrome. I might get Cad Bane, but my point is, I want her with CCFLs. It's more important for me to have the CCFLs for her than it would be, say, for the Alec Guinness, because the pose works without the lightsaber ignited. Also, the Vaders, the 40th anniversary Vader, the what's the other one, the Kenobi one. I'm going to have to get a CCFL for one of those Vaders, if not both, and the Bespin Luke. I want the blue one. I definitely want the blue one. So that is kind of what I'm thinking towards them, whereas these ones I don't think need them. Now, just passing through the next thing, other upgrades I'm looking for is fusion reactors. I've ordered fusion reactors for the Mark 6 Iron Man and the War Machine Mark 1 pictured here on the circle on the left, the yellow circle on the left. But I would consider doing it for the Mark 47 as well. I'm going to see, first of all, when I get them, if they do the job right, if they're easy to use, if they're working, if they light up bright enough for my liking, and if I can hide the wires there as well, similar to how I've hid the CCFL. Because if that works, then I'll be thinking, okay, I'll be getting onto the guy going, okay, I want this, this, and this. But again, not everything needs a light up. Okay, I may do it for the Mark 47. I'll have to see, but I'm definitely doing it for. How cool would that look like? You walk in, you click one button, the Luke lights come on, the sabers come on, and then those arc reactors and stuff come on for the Mark 6 and the Mark 1 War Machine. But yeah, I would consider it for the Mark 47. However, if you look down below at the Mysterio, that looks like it's lit up already, and that's just the way that the Luke lights bounce the light off that fishbowl helmet he has. So I'm not going to invest in that. Now, light up eyes. The same company that bought the fusion reactors, I've noticed that they do just the light up eyes as well. It's essentially the same thing, really. I presume, like, okay, you have an Iron Man, there's the little dummy batteries, and there's, like, you know, one for the head, one for the chest, and maybe one for each arm. Whereas if you go for, say, cable, it'll be just one, and just one wire that fits into the head. You thread it down the back and out the back and plug it in. I probably won't do it. The figures I have highlighted here that have light up eyes are, from the top left, the DX19 sonar suit. As much as I like that, I'm not going to use that. So I'm not going to invest in that. The Batman vs Superman, it's one eye that lights up. Cool enough, not going to do that. Whereas the Terminator DX13, because it's such an iconic movie, it's such an iconic character, he's battle damaged and his face is all off to the side. That eye is so iconic that I more than likely will do it for that Terminator, because even just one little thing, it'd be worth the hassle of wiring that, because that figure is amazing. So again, it's just personal preference. Now then, if you look at this here, the yellows are ones that I consider fusion reactors for. I've checked, and the same company, they do quarter scale kits for, like, the Mark III here, so that's something I could consider. That'd be nice as well, because I'm streaming looking this way and I still get to see him lit up. That'd be pretty cool. And of course, they do a kit for the battle damage Mark 85, but I think I would actually pose it, you know, in the typical I Am Iron Man setup. And then of course there's the Iron Patriot, which they do kits for as well. And then the circle, the red circle there, that's actually the T800 from Terminator 1. So I'm just highlighting basically opportunities for upgrades here. The yellow circles, if we just flick back through that, the yellow circles are fusion kits. I'm not saying I'm going to get them all for all of these. Like I said, I'm going to trial. I have ordered the fusion reactor kits for the Mark 6 and the Mark 1. I want to see how that works. If that's good, I'll probably get one for the Mark 47 and possibly the Mark 85. Okay. Now, I more than likely won't power up the Patriot. Now, for the lightsabers, I won't actually get these two here that are circled. I could, but I won't, because I'd rather look forward. It's more important to me for Vader to have a CCFL and Bespin Luke. I'm definitely not going to go lighten up all these people's eyes. But for the DX13 Terminator, I kind of have to. And the last thing we're going to address here is, see the way here I've got 5 floating shelves. They're in a diamond. They're all measured out as well, that the distance between the top level with Thanos and the Iron Patriot level and the Loki level, that gap is the same as the gap between the Iron Patriot level and the Cap and Spider-Man level. So there's similar gaps. So I'm thinking maybe get another one here and change the display here from symmetrical to asymmetrical and put another floating shelf here, which gives you another space for 1 or 2 figures. I can't actually do it on the other side because the wall actually ends. You can't really see it here because the photo cut off, but there's no space. The wall essentially ends where that, just a bit beyond that Spider-Man, whereas there's a little bit more space for floating shelf there. It's space I'm not using, and just looking at it actually would look kind of cool. It'd be asymmetrical, but I think it would work. So like, yeah, that's pretty much kind of bring us to the end of the channel, and not end of the channel, the end of the chat. So I just want to address some of these chats before I go. Man, I'm thinking if I should buy Obi-Wan Vader or wait to get episode 6 Vader. I can't answer that question for you. I'm ordering the 2 of them. I'm a bad influence. Yeah, because I could make a point for, I could make arguments for either. If I had to pick one, and this is just me, I'd probably give preference to original trilogy. I'd kind of have to, but I really like that cracked open Vader sculpt, so that's why I'm gonna get the 2 of them. I'm no help to you, basically. I like the Hayden as Anakin, and it felt really good seeing as Vader. I think I'll buy the Kenobi one. There's no wrong answer, man. They're both amazing. Damn, imagine them all lit up together though. Damn it! Alright, you're banned. You're banned. Sounds cool though. Ryan Smith, channel member, how are you? Such a great concept, leveling up your display. Definitely going to take my display into account and think about it. Start small, Brandon. Like, it's the CCFL sabers are so expensive and the fusion reactors expensive and they can be finicky. If there's something you really, really like that you want fusion lit up, just get one. I don't know if you have any CCFLs or any fusion. Get one and see, because that's my plan. Like, because I could be coming back on stream next week going, yeah, the fusions arrived, they don't work, or they're really awkward to turn on and off, or whatever. So, yeah. But so far, you know, I'm really I'm excited. Great stream, thank you, channel member. Obi-Wan Vader's sideshow is waitlisted, but you can get it other places. I'm Vaderless and have the Obi-Wan 40th anniversary in order. Couldn't decide, so I got both. A lot of that going around. The display is looking good, or looking amazing, Shane. Thank you. Ryan, did you watch... Sorry, I keep doing this because I'm trying to crack out my back constantly. Did you watch Dean Knight's review on the Peaky Blinders figures? I gotta say, I'm very, very tempted. I loved the show. I think Cillian Murphy is an absolute legend, plus fellow Irishman as well. I think they look good, and I really like the kind of tweed clothes and stuff like that. And I know that you're obviously diehard Batman fan, so you probably appreciate Cillian Murphy, and I know you're from the UK, so you know who Dean Knight is, and obviously he's a massive Batman Begins fan. So just wondering, did you watch that? I have the Empire Strikes Back Vader, so Besman Luke would fit in with him. Empire, yeah, that is true. Yeah, that's absolutely true. It's a good idea. Deluxe edition came back, and oh, I think we're gonna pretty much finish it there, folks. Yeah, look, I hope you've enjoyed it. Massive thank you to anyone who's taken the time to like the video. If you do, please like the video. If you're not yet subscribed and you enjoy the content, please consider clicking that subscribe button. It really does help me grow the channel. Huge, massive thanks to anyone who's subscribed. Basically, you got us to 2,000 subscriptions. Shout out to the troopers and the commanders. Really appreciate the support with the channel. Massively humbling, and you really do appreciate it. If I did, they look very good. Love Peaky Blinders. You're a man after my own heart. I knew you would. I knew you wouldn't let me down, Ryan. Have 40th anniversary Vader. Shame, as I really like the Obi-Wan Vader and New Empire Vader. How many can you have? Yeah. Thank you. Thanks you for joining. And you missed it. You're gonna have to watch it on the replay, Mike. Sorry, buddy. So I think we're pretty much out of here. So again, huge shout out, and as usual, finishing the stream with the outro, which features all the names of the commanders, channel members on the commander tier, if I can find it. All right. See you, folks. Thanks a million. Level up.